Well, hello. I'm going live here without playing the piano, and there is no concert today. I just arrived in Michigan late last night, and I'm in a new location here at the community I live in has an office, and I'm in the office right now. And this may be my new location for the concerts coming up. That's going to be decided in the next week or so, week or two. So I just wanted to come on and say hi. I don't know if there's anybody watching, or you might watch later. I don't know. Let me see. Let me get the chat. So I'm going to be I'm testing a few things here just to see if everything's working. And um, I can see I can get the comments uh, here, but oh, yeah. We'll see if anybody actually is watching. Uh, it's hard for me to tell. So I'm here in Michigan after driving, what did I figure it was? 2,145 miles, I think. So I've got my coronavirus haircut. I'm going to be seeking out a haircut. I think you can get haircuts now. So I can't use that excuse anymore. But I'll be setting up my piano and all that and doing some concerts eventually. But I am in Michigan, northern Michigan, and I live on the same property as a yoga retreat, Song of the Morning yoga retreat. And it's 800 acres of wilderness land. And it's very, very quiet here. I have to say, as I'm listening now, I can hear nothing. I think I can hear a little bit of wind. This morning I heard quite a few birds and a little bit of wind. So it's just very soothing and healing, and I'm happy to be here. It wasn't too bad of a drive. I did post on Facebook that I had trouble with the engine. Uh, let's see which light that came on. The oil pressure warning came on. So that I had checked out right away. And the mechanic in Oklahoma City said it should be all right because the light did not stay on. As soon as I restarted the car, the light was off. So he said, well, it's probably going to be okay. Keep an eye on it. And if the light comes on again, then you might want to check into a potential problem. So anyway, the car, I have the new 2020 Ford Escape, and it's great. It drives great. And so I'm going to be posting this obviously on Facebook and YouTube about upcoming concerts. I don't know the exact date that the live Steve's virtual piano bar will resume, but I'm thinking it'll be somewhere after the middle of July. So I'm looking forward to that. Also, we're getting things organized. Of course, I came here and I have a house here, and I have plenty of work to do there. And also, I have some family who lives here, so I'll be, doing things and unwinding and getting ready for going back into action. Although it's not, I'm not really going to not stay out of action for very long, really. Um, I'm planning a course. It's called Music Theory for Singers, and I haven't got all the details worked out yet. I know part of the course at least is going to be free. And I'm going to start with music theory that everybody really should know. If you listen to music and if you love music, it doesn't really hurt to know a little bit of music theory. Now, anybody who has ever taken piano lessons or been in school band has automatically has an advantage. If you've done that for a little while, you know something about reading music, you know something about the structure of music, maybe a scale or melody, something like that. So I'm going to start there. The first couple lessons are going to be very basic, and many of you might be too basic for you, but I'm going to start there. And I think it's really important, and I call it music theory for singers because there are many talented singers who are able to sing a song and perform, and or even maybe they only sing by themselves in the car, and we don't know it, but they're actually pretty good singers. They have good quality voice. They have sort of an innate sense of rhythm and phrasing. Well, they're copying, some of the best artists in popular music, so they're able to learn sort of by osmosis, and also with the tapping into their natural talent. But they maybe some of these people haven't studied music at all, and they don't know anything about music theory or scales or intervals or musical form or not that you have to know that in order to form and be a good singer, but in my opinion, it will certainly help and enhance your performance, uh, you, your stature, your future, if you want to pursue something more in music as a intense hobby or even a career. It's going to help a lot to know something about music theory. Plus, it's fun. Um, you can learn about the scales and where do the scales come from. Some of you know what a musical scale is. Do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do is the basic scale. It's 7 notes. And when you use the syllables like that, that brings to mind a whole nother field of study in musical theory, and that's solfege. And solfege is still very much alive in Europe. When I was in France several times over the past 15 years or so, or 20 years, they use that as the basis in their teaching music to music students. That do, re, mi, fa, sol, the syllables like the Sound of Music, that do, a deer, a female deer, everybody knows that song. And just as an incidentally, and I may or may not get into this in the course, but maybe a little about Indian music. Indian music uses their own set of syllables, and they also use a parallel system to solfege to teach students. Because when you sing the syllables of the scale, it does something to your perspective, your knowledge of music, and your and knowing where you are in the musical structure. It just helps so much. So I think that's going to be part of the course too. But as I say, intervals are very important, and also for singers, of course, there are some of the basic things. What key do I sing my songs in? I've worked with some very excellent singers who don't really know for sure sometimes the keys of the songs they sing. So they say, "Oh, I can sing it in any key." Just so something like that might happen. Of course, all the better singers will know what their keys are, and especially the more organized ones. But then there are some, maybe you could call them disorganized singers who don't know their keys and they're able to get by and actually perform and entertain an audience. It's sad, or it's surprising in a way, but it's true. Um, how to sing in tune. I had an experience with my granddaughter. When she was young, she loved to sing, and she would mimic songs on the radio, but she wouldn't sing on pitch, or she didn't, you could tell she didn't have a very good sense of where the pitch was supposed to be. And while her mom and dad were saying, "Oh, that's very good. Sounds very good," I'm saying, "No, that's not good when you're not singing on pitch." So I took her to a teacher, a friend of mine, Chandra Jefferson, and my granddaughter, whose name is Rhea, learned just by working with the teacher, Chandra, how to sing on pitch. And ever since then, she's had no trouble singing on pitch. So that taught me something, that it is possible to teach people how to sing on pitch. And then, anyway, we'll see. I'm still getting the basics of the course together. I've got it the outline on paper, but where the details are going to go is going to be fairly interesting. And I also welcome feedback from anybody who wants to give me any feedback or what they might expect from a course like that. And I hope it will be helpful to not just singers, but even if you're an instrumentalist. And I've worked with instrumentalists who don't read music. So that will be also part of the course, knowing the structure of the staff, how to read just the basics. I mean, to be knowledgeable about music theory as a singer, you don't have to go into it as a scholar or anything. But knowing some of the basics in my opinion, is going to be very, very helpful to singers and performers who otherwise don't read music. So I'm kind of excited about that. You can probably tell. All right. Well, thank you. I'm wondering if there's anybody watching, but I just don't know. So I'm here in northern Michigan. My house is right next to the Song of the Morning yoga retreat. You can look it up if you want to Google it. And gee, I might even go into some of the basics of how yoga can help in your music performance. For one thing, yoga breathing, diaphragmatic breathing is especially helpful for singers. That's not categorically music theory, but yeah, I might go into some things like the structure of the piano keyboard, maybe how to accompany yourself simply on at least a couple songs to help get your head in the game. All of that's helpful. In fact, when people come to me nowadays and they say they want to be a singer, they want to go into it and become more into performing, maybe going to open mics, or eventually I think a lot of people would like to become professional singers. I say, well, learn how to accompany yourself on piano or guitar. My course will be from the perspective of piano, because I'm a pianist, and also piano is easier visually to see the structure of the music. So I tell people that learn piano, learn maybe even just a song or two to accompany yourself, just to see how it works. And I think that can be very helpful. I've seen singers, and I wish I could remember her name. Her name was Robin, and I can't remember her last name. She was an excellent, talented singer, and she didn't play much piano. I'm not even sure, maybe, but going from not playing much piano to accompanying herself on some very high-end gigs in Chicago, she became an excellent pianist by really applying herself and studying piano, and she was able to become a professional performer, an excellent professional performer that way, accompanying herself on the piano. And of course, I accompany myself on the piano on a lot of my gigs, so I have that background to draw from in putting together the outline of this course that I'll be putting out. So anyway, thank you for watching and listening. I'm testing. Sorry, my hair is sticking out. Boy, it looks terrible. But anyway, I'll be back performing. If you want to be on my mailing list, go to my website, sandnermusic.com, and there is a form on one of the pages, on the videos page, I believe. So thank you for watching, and I'm going to just run a couple tests. And I, by the way, have my new camera, my new lens, the Sony A5100. It's wonderful. I'm experimenting with a new mic. This is a USB mic. It's not as good as the mic I usually use, but we'll see how that works. Okay, thank you. Au revoir. See you later.